All right, here we are. And before we jump in, I think there's an important conversation that we need to have. What is the difference between a goal and a commitment? It seems like we've been trained, right? We've been conditioned to really think about our business and just our lives in general as being goal-oriented. And we pursue these goals, these big, right? The January comes around and everybody does what? They set their goals for the year. You know more people annually that set a new goal for themselves in their life come January 1st than you know that don't set new goals for themselves. It's extremely common. What's not extremely common is the number of people who actually obtain those goals, right? 5 people come up to you, tell you what their goals are January 1st, and you have to make a bet on which of those 5 people are going to obtain their goals. How are you going to do that? How much money are you going to be willing to bet that any of them are able to follow through the next 12 months and obtain those goals? The facts are that it just doesn't happen. Maybe we get close, maybe we get lucky, but ultimately people fall short of their goals. People never fall short of their commitments. So what's the difference? The difference is a commitment is something that is a standard. A commitment is those things in our life that we refuse not to do. Our commitments are the things that just subconsciously is built in to the fabric of who we are on a day-to-day basis. I think we misuse that word pretty frequently. I'm committed to ABC. I'm committed to doing my work. I'm committed to doing this activity. Oftentimes when we are truly committed to something, we don't have to talk about it, you know? It is a natural byproduct of who we are at that point in time. It's the standards that we hold in our lives without really even having to think about it. Here's the deal. I can't make any one person productive. I can't make anybody accountable. I can't motivate any one individual to the point where they're going to be willing to hold their commitments to achieve the things that they've set out to achieve. All that me or any other person is capable of doing is creating an environment where somebody else can choose to use those tools, resources, information, and training to hold themselves accountable, to remain motivated, and to achieve their commitments. So, what's missing? What bridges that gap from goal to commitment? What is that missing piece of the formula that it seems like people are consistently searching around for? Oftentimes, we believe it's a skill set. How many times have you said yourself or heard somebody else say, I'm going to be able to achieve this once I learn that? If only I had access to this, I would be able to do that. If this was that important, wouldn't you have done that already? So it's probably not skill set. If skill set was the problem, you would have already figured it out. You could say it's time, you could say it's money, you could say it's resources. The reality is what we're lacking is vision. Vision is that thing that creates an emotional tie to our commitments. Vision is that big picture idea that is so strong that it pulls us out of bed every morning. Vision isn't something that you can just come up with someday. And the reason that we have this problem with finding out our vision, or maybe you've heard it called a big why, is because we don't talk about it enough. It's not a typical conversation that you have with the people that you know, love, and care about. And we avoid that conversation mostly because we feel like we're supposed to have those answers. We're supposed to know the things that fill us with joy. We're supposed to know about the things that make us happy. We're supposed to know all that, right? And so we don't want to talk about it. Kick the can down the road, set a few more goals, and help that we decide that eventually we're going to do the things that are going to allow us to achieve those goals. The reality is, without a big picture, without a vision, without understanding the impact that you're going to be able to have in something bigger than yourself, without understanding the repercussions of not obtaining this opportunity that you know in your heart you are totally capable of, it's going to be really difficult, if not impossible, to maintain the commitments that you set out to hold. So I want to leave you there at the beginning of our relationship, at the beginning of this process, with some homework. Is that okay? I want you to spend some time thinking about your purpose. I want you to know going in to this whole process that nothing I say, do, or give you from here on out is going to motivate you to be a better agent, to be a better person, to do more activity. I'm not going to inspire you to create more clients. But what I can do is show you the proven tools, the proven dialogues, processes, and systems that, when combined with your commitment, can build your business to whatever scale you can imagine. Your only limitation is going to be that starting block. And again, this is where people get this wrong. Your only limitation is where you begin. You're limited, like in many things in life. You go buy a home, you make an investment. Whether or not that's a good investment is set out in the beginning with how much you pay to purchase it. When you invest in the stock market, it'll shake out whether or not that was a good investment at the time that you purchase it, at the price that it was purchased. When you begin down this path, your only limits are going to be restricted by the box you put yourself in at the beginning. So we got to start with the big vision, we got to start with the right attitude, and we got to start with the right frame of mind.